Hello friends, today we will study keywords and identifiers in Python. There is a concept in programming called compilation. Compilation is a process of converting code to binary language. When we are coding in any language, whether Python or Java, we use English language. Let's say print. We can see print is an English word. The place where the code is executed is basically a chip, which could be i3, i5 or i7. I'm sure you must have heard about these terms. It only understands binary language such as 1 or 0. So I hope you must have heard of binary, the term binary, which includes 1 or 0, anything to be converted into 1 or 0. So the English has to be converted into 1 or 0. Only then the machine will understand. This process of conversion is called compilation. This is carried out by the compiler or the interpreter. The compiler or the interpreter needs help to convert the English language print into either 0 or 1. There are certain words reserved by the interpreter or compiler to understand the English language. Now, these are popularly known as keywords. Let me again pronounce it. These are called the Python keywords. In Python, there are 32 keywords in total. Now, in the screen, you can see a list of keywords such as class, exec, assert, lambda, def, used to create a function, accept, global, import, return, print, yield, for, elif, else, continue, if, not, break, from, or, true, false, while. So these are the list of keywords. There are 32 in number. We will definitely study about all these keywords in our forthcoming videos. So please stay tuned. Currently, I can just show you the list of keywords. Since interpreter is using these keywords to understand our English language, so we cannot use them as variable names. So we cannot use keywords as variable names. We will discuss this more in our forthcoming videos, so please stay tuned. In short, every programming language, there are some reserved keywords which the compiler can use. Programming or programmers cannot use these words which have been mentioned as keywords. Since you can see in Python print is a keyword, so you can never use print as a variable name. Hence they are termed as keywords. Reserved keywords convert high-level code into machine learning code. These keywords convert the high-level code into machine learning code, or in other words, the binary, which you studied a little bit earlier. So these keywords help to convert into the binary code. So I hope you had a little bit idea of what actually is the use of keyword. So we will discuss surely in our forthcoming videos that how keywords perform this function. So this is the slight difference between interpreter and a compiler. We will also study a little bit difference between the interpreter and the compiler. Interpreter, what does is interpreter checks the code line by line, but a compiler checks whole of the code at one go. So this is basically a difference between the interpreter and the compiler. Now after finishing keywords, now we will move our discussion to identifiers. So we will see what are identifiers in Python and what are the rules to define identifiers in Python. So first we will see what are identifiers in Python. So I will just discuss about identifiers as well as the rules to identify what exactly is meant by identifiers. As a programmer, whatever names we give to the program is called as identifiers. Let's say you created a variable name. Let me show you in the screen. I created a variable name is equal to John Doe. You can see I've written in the screen name is equal to John Doe. So what has happened in this, we have used an identifier. If you create a function of your own, it is also called an identifier. So you have created a variable of our own, so this is called an identifier. Now we will deal with one more identifier, and by creating a function. So this is an identifier or a function which adds two numbers. Let me create a function. Have a look on the screen. So I'm creating a function to add two numbers. So I write def add numbers. So why I've used the term def? Because def is a keyword which is used to create a function. So whenever we create a function, we use the term def. So in the function I pass two arguments x and y. Now whenever we create a function, we end with a colon, and after the colon you can see there is an indentation, and now we write what function we want to perform, what task we perform. So the task which we want to perform is adding of two numbers. So I write x plus y. So you can see I have added the two numbers x and y, and then what I do is I write return the sum. So this function what will do is it will compute the addition of these two numbers x and y, and it will return the sum. Now the function which is named add numbers to calculate the sum of two numbers, this is called an identifier. We will definitely discuss in our later videos. So in object-oriented programming, we create our own class. You will also study object-oriented programming in which you will create your own class. This is also an example of identifier. Now I will discuss some rules. What are the rules to create an identifier? So the number one rule is you cannot start an identifier with a digit. Say if you write using a digit first, and then you are creating a variable such as one name is equal to what you written John Doe. So you can see I have created a variable, the name of the variable is one name. So you can see I have used a digit in front of an alphabet. So as per the convention, you cannot write a digit while creating a variable. So if I try to run by pressing the play button, what you see, you get a syntax error, invalid decimal literal. So we can use an uppercase or lowercase, anything we can use, but we cannot use any special character. However, we can use underscore to create a variable or an identifier. Let me show you. I'm writing first name. Okay, I'm creating a variable first name is equal to John Doe. Now if I run it, what will happen? Let's see. I'm pressing the play button. You can see it has again given an error. So what is the correct syntax? Now instead of this hyphen, if you use an underscore, I'm sure the program will run correctly. Let me show it to you. So when instead of the hyphen I'm writing underscore, it is giving me the result that the variable first name is correct. So if I try to print and check that will it give output to me or not, so I write first name. So you can see I've written first name and I'm running the code, and you can see I've got output that it is printing what's stored in this variable first name. So in other words, you can see that you can use an underscore to create a variable name, but you cannot use hyphen. So these are the various rules of creating or writing an identifier which would work. So I will discuss more about them in the forthcoming videos, but currently you can have a look at the various rules which are followed while naming identifiers. So you can go through them, and you will have a little bit more better feel, and we'll definitely discuss them in our forthcoming videos. And one more thing in convention which we use is identifiers cannot be keywords. You cannot use print as an identifier. It will not work. Python will give an error because these are reserved words. Python has reserved these words that you cannot use them. Now we cannot name a variable as print, as interpreter will get confused and it will throw an error. So I hope you had a little bit idea about keywords and identifiers in Python. These are very important from the point of Python coding. When you will do coding in Python, you will really need these identifiers. You should have a sound concept about these identifiers. So that brings the end to this video. Now after finishing this video, we'll move on to our next video, which is accepting input from user. So stay tuned and happy learning. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon for further notifications. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care.